if we believe that the Father's will has priority in all things, then that His grace is infinite and absolute, we will turn to Him if we're spiritually hungry. Yes, we will. But if we believe that our will has priority, and if it's obedience, then grace, if that's the order, we will turn not to Him, but to the latest methods, the latest books, the latest videos, the latest gimmicks that are happening in charismatic circles, which according to the latest teacher, we are guaranteed to bring us the same blessing they've got if we follow that carefully. We should ask ourselves, what kind of father do we have? Is he a slot machine father? Like you pick up on those railway stations, a slot machine. You put in your money and the chocolate comes out. Or not, as the case may be. And you end up having to kick the machine to try and get your money back or your chocolate. And you'd settle for either, because you're dealing with a machine, and a faulty machine. We're not dealing with a machine, we're dealing with the ever-living, ever-loving, all-embracing, grace-providing God who loves us personally and intimately. He's not a machine. We're in relationship with Him. We should ask ourselves, what kind of father do we have? Is He the Yahweh Elohim whom we've been looking at throughout this Knowing the Father series? Is He the all-powerful, all-protecting, all-perfect, all-providing God whose great passion is our redemption? Is He the one who has suffered the infinite grief of love, who has revealed His eternal love by giving His only Son for us, who keeps on coming to us in the Son and the Spirit, who delights to give us good things? Is that the God with whom you're in relationship? Or is He the one who has told us that He's tossed all these blessings on the table and you got to come and get it and help yourself and work out which is the best method and technique in all the impossible impossible maze of these right and wrong approaches? The question is, how are God's promises fulfilled? And this is one of the most burning questions that believers need to answer. How are God's promises fulfilled? We've got to decide whether God's promises are fulfilled by us as we work through a list of conditions and then perform actions which match them. And I suggest to you that people's attitude and much preaching today comes very close to that. And if I asked you that question in the beginning, you might have said, yes, of course we must work through a list of conditions and then fulfill those conditions as actions in order for God to bless us. But that is not the truth of Abba-focused living. Are God's promises not rather fulfilled by the Father in His grace, leading us step by step towards receiving these promises in His way and in His time? And the difference between those two things is the difference between knowing God as Father, as Abba, personally and intimately, and just somehow knowing that somehow, somewhere, God wants to bless you, and you've got to make sure that you understand how to go about it.